Hi guys, welcome to our kitchen. This intro is going to be a little bit different than some of our other intros because we're going to be talking about the sink today. So we have a few clips for you on when we replaced our kitchen sink. If you remember, we did a kitchen sink painting. It didn't go well. We did an update for you guys and it got even worse after that. And then we decided, you know what, we're just going to replace the kitchen sink. So I will have this kitchen sink linked down below. We got it from Menards. And we're just going to go through some of the clips. I'm going to play them for you, voiceover, tell you what was going on and all the things that went awry. We don't have a ton of footage for this one because it was very tricky to film, very difficult to get under there, get in there, get the sink out. It was a mess, and it was very frustrating. So there were a lot of times we turned the camera off. We couldn't get a good angle. We were just like, we just want to get the sink in. It was beginning to really take a toll on us. So you're going to notice a new faucet there sitting on the counter. We had some serious faucet issues. It started leaking really bad. I did contact the company, but it was going to take weeks to get the part in. They finally sent us the part, but it wasn't the part I asked for. They decided they knew what part it was. He actually ran out, my husband actually ran out and bought a new faucet, which was not in the budget, not in the plan, but it was going to take weeks for us to get a faucet. And when we redid the kitchen the first time and painted the sink and all of that, washing the dishes in the bathroom sinks just was not for us. So we went ahead and got that new faucet. So that's going to be swapped out. We still have the old faucet and the parts that they sent us that aren't going to work just in case. But here he's just trying to take everything off. I'm trying to get some of the dishes out of his way and everything. I didn't think about that before he started. So he's just taking that faucet apart so that he can get the sink ready to be pulled out. Some of these camera angles are going to be very shaky, very interesting. It was very hard to get shots of this process. And like I said in the intro, very, very frustrating to take this sink out. Right now, he's just thinking about what his next step is going to be. We had some water leakage, lots of water leakage during this process, actually, but it is what it is. He's trying to squeeze himself underneath the sink. We have like a piece in the middle, and it's really hard for him to get under there with the piece in the middle that keeps like the doors from like bowing in. So it's a struggle anytime he has to do anything with plumbing or anything under the sink because there is absolutely no space. I've even tried, there's just no space under there. But right now he's just taking off the sprayer so that we can get working on removing this sink, which, newsflash, was a pain. I'm just holding down the sprayer so that he can get it twisted off here. Now he's just reaching up under the sink. It has these weird clips where you have to like unscrew them. It's what's holding the sink in. And he's just feeling around to see if he can get some of these clips off. There were a ton of these clips. And there were some that we could not get to no matter what we moved, how hard we tried. But right now he's just trying to check to see if he can get into those corners to remove those clips so that the sink will come out. He really hates that bar in the middle there. He really does. You can see totally not enough space under there at all. We realized that we were going to have to completely pull out the dishwasher because there were clips on the other side of the sink as well, and we could not get to them. So this is just us trying to move the dishwasher out so that he can crawl back there and try to remove some of those other clips that are holding on the sink. And yes, we are struggling. It was wedged in there pretty good. Excuse me, blocking the camera. I almost forgot during certain parts that we were recording because the process was getting so tedious and so frustrating. So there are going to be some moments where I'm completely standing in front of the camera. I tried to get some angles of this, him kind of going into that space. Again, it was really difficult to do. And yes, you're going to see me standing around a lot. I pretty much, when he does things like this, just kind of am in the room just to hand him whatever he needs, help him when he needs it. But I also don't want to be in his way, especially with an area like as tight as this, where he's trying to crawl underneath cabinets and things. I don't want to be a bother, and I don't want to be in his way. So I just kind of like stand around and really hover around in the room until he needs a wrench or a screwdriver or something like that. That way he can really feel free to work, but I am there to help if he needs my help. So you're going to see he's trying to get these clips off of the side here. He's trying to pry them off. It was really hard to get a screwdriver or anything in there. We were really struggling. This probably took the absolute longest getting the sink out of the entire process. We finally got the sink out, and what we ended up having to do was rip it out. You're going to see some damaged spots there. We could not get to some of the clips. We would have had to take the countertops off and everything. So we just decided we were going to pry under there and rip it out. And we were so happy when it finally came out. Not excited about the marks, but here you can see those clips on there. That's what was holding it in. And some of them we just couldn't get to without completely destroying the countertops and taking them off and everything. So. Dang. No.
YouTube famous, come on. Oh, that's going.
My adorable son was making comments from the other room, so I decided he needed to be on the video.
This one is definitely different than the other one.
In terms of, the other one was cuter. That's okay.
This one has a little bit more of a brushed look to it. It's probably going to break in 2 months anyway.
Right.
Because that's what they do.
I spray painted the little sink thing. They are very expensive. You would not believe how expensive they are considering what it is. So I just hit it with a coat of spray paint. The new sink is in. We just set it in. And then he did do a lot of caulk around it and things like that. We did not want to clip anything in or do anything crazy in case we needed to remove it. Now he's just kind of mushing up some putty that he's going to be using for the plumbing parts. But oh my goodness, this was so exciting just to see it sitting in there with the faucet and everything. It was a pain to get the faucet on the sink. When you buy faucets, they have those weird things on the bottom and they never line up just right. That probably was the second longest part of this process, was trying to get the faucet straight.
Here is a close-up of the new sink. I am absolutely loving this. Totally worth the money, more than we wanted to spend in the moment, especially with the new faucet we had to get. But totally worth it. Really love having this single basin. It's been really, really great to wash dishes and bigger items, and it's just awesome. So here's a close-up of that. Like I said, I will have this sink link down below, but definitely worth all of the frustration and the headache. I absolutely love this sink. Not only is it more functional for me when I am cleaning or really just doing anything. But I also just feel like it looks a lot more high end. It looks a lot nicer, and it has more of that farmhouse vibe. We couldn't get like a, an under the counter, or we couldn't get like a actual farmhouse like kitchen sink because of this right here. But it just brings that more farmhouse look to the kitchen, not having the double basins. So highly recommend.